is more interesting, creates better content, is better for football, is better for my eyes. Would you rather, Joy?
Would you rather the Giants win the NFC East or the Eagles win the NFC East?
Interestingly, I'd rather see the Eagles win it. Don't think they will, because then all the Carson Wentz haters have to go, okay, so he has won the division in back-to-back years with major chaos on the offensive line or at wide receiver. I think the Giants are going to win it, but if you're asking me what creates better drama, it's Wentz winning it again, as you all have bailed on him.
The Jets finish with the number 1 pick or the Jags finish with the number 1 pick?
The Jags finish with the number 1 pick because Trevor Lawrence is going to work everywhere. But then it creates real interesting situation. Would the Jets move off Sam Darnold for Justin Fields? Now, for Trevor Lawrence, you absolutely do. But remember, they've got all these picks because of the Jamal Adams trade.
Yeah.
They got 7 great picks. Keep Darnold, 7 picks. I'm not so sure they move off him. So I think that creates a fascinating sports argument that it's Sam Darnold and a bunch of picks or Justin Fields. I'm not so sure you keep Darnold there.
The Raiders make the playoffs or the Browns make the playoffs? Would you rather?
I would rather have the Raiders make the playoffs for 2 reasons. I think Gruden is great in the playoffs. 3 reasons. I think the Raiders have a more interesting brand, and Derek Carr is better in every statistical category this year than Baker Mayfield. So I get better quarterback play, bigger star as a coach. And I think you and I have agreed with this. The Raiders are a great brand. They're kind of the rebels, the outlaws of the NFL.
Absolutely. So the Dolphins make the playoffs with Fitzpatrick, or they miss the playoffs with Tua?
I'd rather they make the playoffs with Fitzpatrick, who's averaging over 100 yards more passing a game, because I think Brian Flores deserves to make the playoffs. They feel like a playoff team. It's a great brand, great coaching job. I like to see people rewarded who've done a good job. Just because Tua doesn't make the playoffs doesn't mean they bail on him, but I think Brian Flores needs to be rewarded because I think he's just out-coached and outsmarted a lot of NFL people.
It's a good culture builder for them. Jimmy G stays with the 49ers, or would you rather Jimmy G goes back to the Patriots?
I would rather Jimmy G go to the Patriots. First of all, he'll win both places. Okay, he'll win with Belichick. But I do believe the strength of New England's dynasty beyond Belichick and Brady was their offensive line play. And they've drafted a couple of really good young offensive linemen. I don't think Garoppolo. I think it's a very good place for a quarterback with injuries to be. I think New England would be a nice place for him to be. They wouldn't put him in harm's way. I mean, Brady didn't get hit much. And I think the offensive line is the one thing Belichick offensively has drafted well and developed really well as an organization. And in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan's going to get somebody. And I think, frankly, Belichick wants Garoppolo more than Shanahan does. At this point, I think Kyle wants somebody else.
The Cowboys stick with Dak or the Cowboys draft a quarterback?
Well, I work for Fox, and we have the Cowboys as our premier ratings product. I think it's better if you draft a quarterback. First of all, it's a new story. Second of all, I've seen Dak. He's 6-12 the last 3 years against winning teams, and because you got to pay him, they're up against the cap. We know in the NFL what wins is young quarterbacks not paying him. You can go in free agency. Dak will get a job. Don't kid yourself. Dak will start somewhere. That's not, and I know this is not going to happen. But if you want to be, I don't think Dak's fascinating. I think a new quarterback situation would be fascinating and allow Dallas to nibble at some free agents possible because they'd have some salary space.
Would you rather the Seahawks win the NFC West or the Rams win the NFC West?
Seahawks, because I think they can win the Super Bowl. I don't think the Rams quite look like that team yet. I think Russell Wilson's more entertaining. DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson are so much fun to watch. Selfishly, Seattle has a vibe to it. Like, Seattle games are, as Kevin Clark says that works for The Ringer, there's never been a Seahawk game that's not weird. They play in more...
Yeah, they've never played in a normal game.
They've never played a normal football game. All their games are crazy. And I just think, whereas the Rams win kind of boringly.
The Ravens miss the playoffs or the Ravens lose first playoff game?
Either way, Lamar's going to get criticized. Like we got this narrative going on. I'd rather he miss the playoffs, come in. If he loses another playoff game, we're going to have, for third year in a row, now you have a narrative. I don't wish for any young player to get stuck in a narrative. But if he doesn't make the playoffs, and by the way, Cleveland's pretty good and the Steelers are great, you can just say, hey, listen, it's a very competitive year. I'd hate to see him lose another playoff game, and now we have a narrative. He can't win a playoff game, and I think that's rough on Young. Because for the record, isn't he still like 23 years old or something, 24 years old?
He's very young, and yeah, I'm with you. I think it would be better for them long term if they just missed the playoffs this year. It's a weird year.
Yeah, get a better draft pick, lose more games. Good stuff. By the way, mdrivestart.com. It's one scoop every morning. Chocolate mousse, proteins, digestive enzymes, leans you up, makes you feel great.